Lakers legend Byron Scott did not hold back. In a recent appearance on Power 106 Radio, the former Los Angeles point guard and NBA champion delivered a sharp, direct message about LeBron James and his future with the franchise. Scott made clear that, in his view, this should be LeBron's final season wearing purple and gold. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. I just thought it was laughable, coming from one of the greatest players to ever play the game, that it was harder to play now than it was then, Scott said. I'm a fan, but I don't mince words. I think this should be his last year here. You don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. The statement is blunt, and it is generating attention across the league. Byron Scott, a three-time NBA champion himself and a player who spent key seasons in Los Angeles, has always been outspoken about what he believes is best for the Lakers franchise. His comments reflect a growing sentiment among some fans and former players that the time has come for Los Angeles to fully turn the page and build around Luka Doncic, the Slovenian superstar who arrived in Hollywood in a blockbuster trade. LeBron James is 41 years old and in his 23rd season in the NBA. Despite his age, he continues to contribute at an impressive level and recently crossed the 43,000 career points milestone, a mark that no other player in NBA history has ever reached. His resilience and longevity have been remarkable by any standard, and there is no denying what he accomplished in Los Angeles. When James arrived in 2018, the Lakers were not a playoff team. Within 2 years, he led them to an NBA championship in the Disney bubble, delivering the franchise its 17th title and its first since 2010. However, since that 2020 championship run, the Lakers have been inconsistent. The team has had its ups and downs, cycles of rebuilding and reloading, and has not managed to return to the NBA Finals. Each season has come with high expectations that were not fully met, and the pressure around the franchise has remained intense. Now, with Luka Doncic emerging as the clear cornerstone of the team's future, the question of what role LeBron plays going forward becomes increasingly important. The Lakers front office has not made any official statements about LeBron's future beyond this season. There is no confirmation of whether the four-time champion will retire, continue playing, or potentially seek a new destination. Some reports have indicated that James is interested in returning for a 24th NBA season, which would make him the oldest active player in the league by a wide margin. Whether that would happen in Los Angeles or elsewhere remains one of the biggest storylines heading into the offseason. Scott's comments carry weight because of his connection to the franchise and his no-nonsense communication style. He is not someone who speaks diplomatically for the sake of politics. When he says it is time for LeBron to move on from the Lakers, he is making a competitive argument. The team needs to commit fully to the Doncic era, and having LeBron in the mix complicates that transition. It is worth pointing out that LeBron James has always been someone who takes team building seriously. During his time with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat, he was actively involved in roster discussions and was known for pushing front offices to make moves that would put him in position to compete for a championship. In Los Angeles, that dynamic was different, particularly after a difficult stretch that included the Russell Westbrook experiment in the 2021-22 season, which did not work out as planned. The relationship between LeBron and the Lakers organization appears to be one of mutual respect, but the direction of the franchise is shifting. Coach JJ Redick, who took over as head coach this season, is in the process of building his own identity with the team. The roster is being shaped around Luka Doncic and his strengths. In that context, Byron Scott's comments, though harsh, reflect a real conversation that is happening both inside and outside the Lakers organization about what the next chapter looks like and whether LeBron James is part of it. For now, LeBron continues to play and compete. He reached 43,000 career points and expressed gratitude for everything he has achieved over 2 decades in the league. The milestones keep coming, even as the debate about his future intensifies. Regardless of where he ends up, his legacy in Los Angeles and across the NBA is already secure. But Byron Scott made it very clear. In his opinion, it is time to close this chapter and let the new era of Lakers basketball begin without number 23 on the court. The conversation around LeBron's future is not just happening in the media. Inside the NBA, people are watching closely to see how this offseason unfolds. Will the Lakers make a big move, potentially trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo, as has been widely reported? Will they reload with young defensive talent around Luka Doncic? And where does that leave LeBron James in the equation? These are questions that will dominate the Lakers offseason discussion. What is clear is that the franchise is at a genuine crossroads. The Doncic era has officially begun, and the team needs to build properly around him. Byron Scott, with all his experience and his deep connection to the purple and gold, believes that means moving on from LeBron. Whether the organization agrees or not is a different matter, but Scott's words have added fuel to a fire that was already burning. The NBA world is watching, and the summer promises to bring major decisions that will shape the Lakers' future for years to come. The Los Angeles Lakers are going through a rough stretch. The team has dropped 3 straight games, and the criticism has been growing louder from media and fans alike. Questions about defensive effort and overall intensity have been at the center of the conversation as the Lakers have struggled to string together consistent performances during a crucial part of the 2025-26 regular season. In the middle of all that noise, guard Austin Reaves stepped forward and made a bold public statement about his teammate DeAndre Ayton. Speaking to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, Reaves praised the veteran center in strong terms, calling him the team's most important factor when it comes to raising their ceiling as a contender. "That guy right there is the X factor," Reaves told ESPN, gesturing toward Ayton. "He changes our ceiling." The endorsement was notable. Reaves is one of the most respected voices in the Lakers locker room, a player who has grown from an undrafted long shot into one of the team's most important contributors. When he speaks up about a teammate in that manner, people pay attention. His confidence in Ayton reflects the belief within the organization that the veteran center, when performing at his best, gives Los Angeles a dimension that changes how opposing teams have to prepare and defend. DeAndre Ayton arrived in Los Angeles this season carrying significant expectations. He was the #1 overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft, selected by the Phoenix Suns. A talented big man with a versatile offensive game and physical tools to protect the paint, Ayton was seen as the kind of player who could provide a strong interior presence alongside Luka Doncic and the rest of the Lakers roster. Head coach JJ Redick and his staff viewed Ayton as a key piece in the rotation, a player who could impact games on both ends of the floor. However, the 2025-26 season has not been straightforward for Ayton. His role has been a topic of discussion, and he attracted attention earlier in the week for a viral comment directed at Houston Rockets center Clint Capela. Ayton essentially suggested that the coaching staff was trying to limit him to a role similar to what Capela does in Houston, a comparison he appeared to take as an insult given that he sees himself as a more complete player capable of doing much more on the court. The comment sparked a back and forth that played out publicly. Capela, aware of what Ayton had said, wasted no time firing back on social media after the Lakers lost to the Phoenix Suns on Thursday night. The timing could not have been worse for Ayton. In that game against his former team, the center who Reaves had called the team's X factor delivered one of the most disappointing performances of his Lakers tenure. Playing 23 minutes as a starter, Ayton finished with just 2 points and 4 rebounds. His plus-minus for the game was a -24, the worst mark of any player on the court that night. For a player expected to elevate the team's ceiling, those numbers fell far short of expectations. The loss to Phoenix added another game to the Lakers' 3-game skid and intensified scrutiny on the entire roster. Luka Doncic has also been in the spotlight for reasons beyond on-court performance, drawing criticism from multiple media voices for frequent complaints toward referees and inconsistent defensive effort. The Lakers are clearly a team that needs to find a better rhythm and sharper focus as the season heads toward the playoffs. Looking ahead, the Lakers face a back-to-back weekend set that offers an opportunity to turn things around. They are scheduled to play the Golden State Warriors on Saturday in the Bay Area and then return home to face the Sacramento Kings at Crypto.com Arena on Sunday. 2 games in 2 nights against conference rivals will test depth, conditioning, and the mental resilience of the entire group. For Ayton specifically, the weekend represents a chance to back up what Reaves said about him with actual production. Whether or not he can deliver the performances that justify the X Factor label remains to be seen. Reaves believes in him, and the coaching staff under JJ Redick continues to work on putting Ayton in positions to succeed. The question now is whether Ayton can respond to the pressure and show that his best basketball is still ahead in a Lakers uniform. The broader picture here is important to consider. The Lakers are still very much in the playoff race in the Western Conference, and how they finish this regular season will determine their seeding and the matchups they face in the postseason. A team built around Luka Doncic has obvious offensive firepower, but the defensive questions remain real and pressing. That is precisely why Ayton's role becomes so critical. If he can anchor the paint, protect the rim, and provide reliable scoring on the interior, the Lakers become a much harder team to beat. That is what Austin Reaves was pointing to when he called Ayton the X Factor. JJ Redick inherited a roster that came together quickly after the blockbuster trade that brought Luka Doncic to Hollywood. Building cohesion, establishing defensive principles, and finding the right rotations are ongoing challenges. Ayton is a significant part of that puzzle. His ability to set hard screens, finish around the rim, and switch defensively gives the team tools that few rosters possess. The issue is converting that potential into consistent winning performances. Right now, the Lakers need more from Ayton, and fast. The stretch run is here. Every game matters. Austin Reaves has made his belief clear. DeAndre Ayton must now answer on the court. While the Los Angeles Lakers are still focused on the final stretch of the 2025-26 regular season and preparing for a playoff run, the front office is already thinking ahead. With 24 games remaining in the regular season and a postseason berth essentially secured, General Manager Rob Pelinka and the Lakers leadership are beginning to map out what the roster could look like next season, particularly as the team works to build the best possible supporting cast around star guard Luka Doncic. One name that has surfaced as a potential summer target is Derozan, the 6-time NBA All-Star currently playing for the Sacramento Kings. According to a report from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, there was genuine interest at the trade deadline in finding a way to bring Derozan to one of the two Los Angeles-based NBA teams. While nothing came together during the deadline window, the situation remains one worth monitoring heading into the offseason. The appeal of Derozan to the Lakers is understandable on several levels. He is one of the most skilled and reliable scorers in the NBA, capable of creating his own shot in a variety of ways, particularly in the mid-range area where he has long been considered among the best in the game. At 36 years old, he has lost very little from his offensive arsenal and continues to be a productive player on a nightly basis. His experience in high-pressure situations and his veteran leadership would be attractive additions to any team trying to compete for a championship. There is also a personal element to the Derozan story that makes the Lakers connection feel natural. Derozan is a native of Compton, California, and has long expressed a desire to one day play in his home city of Los Angeles. That dream, combined with his professional ambitions, makes a potential move to the Lakers or the Clippers a compelling storyline as his career enters what is likely its final chapter. However, the path to making this happen is not straightforward. Derozan's contract for next season carries a partial guarantee of $10 million, which means the Kings would have financial and roster considerations to weigh carefully before deciding whether to move him or retain him. According to the same Clutch Points report, a buyout does not appear to be the likely route at this point, meaning any deal would most likely need to be structured as a trade or free agency agreement depending on how Sacramento handles his contract situation. From the Lakers' perspective, the front office must also evaluate whether Derozan is the right fit for what they are trying to build. While his scoring ability is undeniable, the team has specific needs that go beyond pure offense. Coach JJ Redick and his staff have emphasized the importance of improving defensively, and that is an area where Derozan has never been considered a strong contributor. Across his career with Toronto, San Antonio, Chicago, and now Sacramento, his value has always been overwhelmingly concentrated on the offensive end of the floor. The Lakers are widely expected to make a major push to acquire Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo this summer, a move that would reshape the entire franchise alongside Luka Doncic. If that blockbuster move comes together, the remaining roster spots would likely be filled with defensive-minded players. Reports indicate that Los Angeles is targeting 3-and-D wings in the offseason, with names like Peyton Watson of the Denver Nuggets and Andrew Wiggins emerging as more natural fits given the team's defensive priorities. That does not eliminate Derozan from consideration entirely, but it does suggest he may not be the top priority for the Lakers when the offseason officially begins. The front office will weigh multiple options, balance financial constraints, and determine which moves give the team the best chance to compete at the highest level next season and beyond. What is clear is that the Lakers are entering a pivotal offseason with significant decisions to make. The foundation is in place with Luka Doncic leading the way, and the team has legitimate aspirations to become a championship contender in the near future. Whether Derozan ends up in Los Angeles or not, the coming months will be defining for the franchise. Every move Pelinka makes will be scrutinized closely, and Lakers fans are eager to see the roster take a major step forward heading into the 2026-27 season. Derozan's career numbers speak for themselves. He has averaged over 20 points per game across multiple seasons and is a consistent presence in the All-Star conversation even at this stage of his career. His ability to operate in isolation situations and draw fouls in the paint makes him a dangerous offensive weapon who can help a team in crucial late-game moments. Those are skills that carry real value in the playoffs, where half-court execution and individual shot creation often determine who advances. On the other hand, the Lakers must be realistic about what they need most. Defense wins championships, and the current roster has been criticized heavily this season for its lack of defensive intensity and effort. Adding another player whose primary value is offensive without improving on that end would not address the root issue. Pelinka and his staff understand this, which is why the 3-and-D wing profile appears to be the primary focus heading into free agency and potential trade discussion. Derozan is a fascinating name to watch this summer, but the Lakers' final decisions will ultimately come down to what gives Luka Doncic the best chance to win a championship in Los Angeles.